Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to talk about Fight Club, the greatest movie ever made in my opinion. And what does it have to do with Islam? And was Tyler Durden a secret Muslim? Like what? All these questions will be answered in this video, so keep watching. Fight Club, how would I put this? It's been released in 1999 and since then it became sort of a legendary movie that captured the condition of the modern man.
What? Things you own end up owning you. But do what you like, man.
And I know many things have changed since 1999. It's been almost 23 years. But some of the things that they were tackling in the movie are still applicable to this day and age. So by the way, I'm gonna give out some spoilers. So if you haven't watched the movie, don't look at this video. Simple as that. Like, why are you watching this if you know I'm gonna say something about the movie? Anyways, basically, simple. There's a narrator who has no name and he can't sleep. That's how the movie starts.
For 6 months, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. With insomnia, nothing's real. Everything's far away.
And he's obsessed with this with this material lifestyle. He's not really like hedonistic, but he has no purpose in his job. He has this corporate job. He doesn't have any relationships. He has no friends, no family. And he lives alone in a big city in a beautiful apartment. And what he does, he buys a lot of furniture and a lot of stuff from IKEA to fulfill his life, which is to gather more products and services to improve his life, of course. But basically, he finds this life hack, where he attends these groups where people are dying. So like somebody dying from cancer, he goes there to these support groups and everybody thinks he's dying as well. So he can open up, or they can open up to him rather, and he can finally let go and cry about his meaningless life. And this helps him sleep. So he gets addicted and he does this for months.
My name is Bob.
Bob,
You can cry.
Losing all hope was freedom. Babies don't sleep this well.
Everything changes in his life when he meets Tyler Durden. Tyler is this character who's played by Brad Pitt. He looks great. He does whatever he wants. He's this kind of like, I would say, anarchist in a way. He steals cars, he drinks, he does anything he wants. And he's his only friend in the movie.
You know why they put oxygen masks on planes? So you can breathe. Oxygen gets you high.
And this is how I met
Tyler Durden. Did you know if you mixed equal parts of gasoline and frozen orange juice concentrate, you can make napalm?
Tyler is trying to show this narrator that what he believes in is fake and there is another way in life. Tyler has an outlook on life which is very destructive, but he gets some things correct. And together with this narrator, after a few meetings and they start to live together, basically they try to unplug from society, which means like this narrator stops caring about his job, his appearance, he starts smoking, and they get involved in this Fight Club, which is this underground sort of like men's club where there's fights each week. And there's not really like a deep purpose behind it. It's just to get out the energy that everybody feels in this modern society as men, but they just lack the outlet to do it in a society. So they get together like these bankers and everybody from society, and they just fight each other with some basic rules. Number one, don't talk about Fight Club, of course.
every week. Tyler gave the rules that he and I decided.
Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club. This is your first night at Fight Club. You have to fight.
And Tyler is like this ringleader, and he often gives speeches about modern society, where he says like modern society is, there is no Great War, there is no Great Depression, we don't have any purpose. Our purpose is our depressed lives. We have to unplug from society because the society is trying to self-improve, is trying to progress somewhere, and he sees that as like bad. Like he laughs at the narrator when he tells him like, I had this Scandinavian furniture already in my house and it all burned up, and he says like, F your Scandinavian furniture, like you will never be complete, like stop being attached to the things. And he says many really good things, like for example, the things you own end up owning you. The things you own end up owning you. I agree with that.
You're not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
Then oftentimes he reminds his followers that life isn't a seminar. Like this is not something you can learn in like a course how to live. It's not a weekend retreat. And every minute of your day goes by, you will die. Like he always says like, until you know that you will die, you are useless. And he oftentimes, even there's a scene where he grabs the narrator by his hand and he pulls like some chemical on his hand to burn him, to show him like this is the greatest moment of your life. And you're trying to meditate about something. No, just stay with the pain and just realize that someday you will die. Everything is falling apart in this world. So even you will fall apart. And he always reminds him again, until you know that you are useless.
What is this?
This is a chemical burn. It'll hurt more than you've ever been burned, and you will have a scar.
What are you doing? Guided meditation worked for cancer. Could work for this.
Stay with the pain. Don't shut this out. No! Look at your hand. The first soap was made from the ashes of heroes, like the first monkey shot into space. Without pain, without sacrifice, you would have nothing. It's the greatest moment of your life, man, and you're off somewhere missing. I am not. Shut up. First, you have to know, not fear. Know that someday you're gonna die.
His philosophy is really, it's only when you lose everything you're free to do anything. So he actually identified quite correctly the problems with modern society, where consumerism and relying on products and services is supposed to kind of fill our happiness, like our gap. Like what? This is not gonna make me happy, maybe for a second or two, but there's a deeper level that we're not addressing as a society, and we'll live in this sort of like modernist nightmare. But everybody pretends to be happy, but there's a lack of meaning in everyone's lives.
Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate so we can buy shit we don't need. The middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war. Our great depression is our lives.
Society is trying to sell us this dream that we will become like rock stars, but at the end, like, you will probably die alone. Like, this is not gonna happen, guys. Even though it's Brad Pitt saying it, so that's kind of...
We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't.
But the conclusion that he comes with, Tyler, is really destructive. He says like, well, since we know we're gonna die and everything else is not making us more happy, then we are just molecules. You are just the same decaying organic matter as everything else, he says. Like, you're just molecules who learn to dance, who learn to sing. Like, this is nothing. You will also die. So he goes into this extreme nihilism that moves to anarchy in society.
You are not special. You are not a beautiful or unique snowflake. You are the same decaying organic matter as everything else.
He actually starts Project Chaos, where he says, well, if this is true, then nothing matters, like self-improvement, looking good, taking care of your body, improving society, climate change, or whatever. Like, this is all pointless. Let's just ruin everything and do whatever we want.
Each one of you has a homework assignment. You're gonna go out, you're gonna start a fight with a total stranger. You're gonna start a fight, and you're gonna lose.
Let's just show people through chaos that there is this element in us and we can't stop it by pretending to work at the corporate job and then going to work and being a nice citizen. Like, there's something deeper here we're not addressing. So he just goes into Project Chaos and starts building military. And he builds these military groups that go in the city and they destroy property, they do these vandalism things. But of course, one person actually dies. And in the end, it goes so extreme that they turn into a terrorist group and they blow out multiple buildings and skyscrapers of financial companies, where they try to erase the debt of companies. I guess they were still using like physical servers back then, so not the cloud now. The cloud is fine. He tries to like make a revolution to rebuild a system because he sees us as slaves of this system. And it is true in a sense where we are all plugged into the system. It's impossible to just say like, I'm not part of this. Like, what? You're gonna live in the cage, or how are you not gonna pay taxes? Where are you gonna live? Rent? You need a job? Like, you can't unplug from the system. But the thing is, the movie really captures the mood of people, how they feel about the modern lifestyle, the modern capitalism, democracy, freedom. All these things are sort of useless in the end because people have no foundation. They have no meaning in their life, no purpose behind anything. And Tyler really just wants to get to the bottom.
Congratulations. You're one step closer to hitting bottom.
Okay, so how does this relate to Islam? Like, what? The thing is, like, the whole point of Tyler is to really unplug from the system, and the only conclusion he can see is that, well, we need to blow it up, like, we need to revolutionize everything and just create chaos and anarchy. However, he doesn't recognize sort of fundamental reality of everything. Well, basically, to unplug from the system, even though if you try to do all these things as Tyler, it's never gonna work because you're still trying to like change the system within the actual material world. But to really unplug from this system, from this dunya as we Muslims call it, it's better to look at it like, okay, there's this material world and there's this other realm, this spiritual, this whatever we call it, consciousness or this soul that we all know we have. We have this spiritual yearning, we have this thing which no one can see, no one can touch, no one knows what it is, but we all have it because we all have consciousness. So I know you have it as well because you watched this video. So we all have this thing. We try to ignore it. We try to like put it like, okay, you will do this job and you will have this family, but you still have this like thing, this point of awareness in you that was there before you were born, or like right when you were being born. You didn't know your name, your nationality, your race, anything, but you had this point of awareness, like, what is this? And everybody has it. It's the consciousness, it's the soul, it's the what makes up a human being. It's not like something you can clone or something you can see or touch. It's something intangible, but we all have it. It's supernatural. It's not something from this world. So how do you then unplug from the dunya? Well, from the world, from this society, without destroying everything and being sort of anarchist? Well, following Islam is kind of similar to what he's doing with different solution. So he identified correctly. More products or services won't make you happy. The clothes you wear, the car you drive, everything about this material world is actually a disease. It's a dream. It's not real. It's not like, it's maybe for short-term gratification, but there's a deeper layer that people need to like see. Basically, Islam offers the solution for this. So you identify the problem, like, okay, people are unhappy, they don't have purpose, there's no meaning, and all of these. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is there's this other reality. The reality is that, as he said, you're gonna die. So you just have to come to grips with that. You have to understand that you will die. Now, okay, there are a couple of options. What happens next? Maybe nothing, maybe something. Tyler's point is nothing happens. But we have to really investigate, and Islam says, well, there's actually this completely different reality that will happen after you die. And this reality is really built upon what you do in this world. So everything you do here really affect that reality that will happen after death. And to live this life, it's very good for you. It's very balanced. It will help you not to get attached in things in this world, because essentially you're pursuing this another reality. This is your goal. Like, you want to end up in this reality. You don't want to like be stuck in this lower level life where, you know, you have this body and stuff and you need to go to the toilet. You know, like, this is just the precursor for the next one, the next upgrade. And so this is how really you should view the world. And there's even a hadith from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, where he says, live in this world like a traveler. Don't get caught up in this world. Imagine you're on a plane and you're flying to Australia and you stop by in Dubai for a transit flight. So how much time do you spend in Dubai? Well, maybe a couple of hours. You buy some sandwich, you buy some water, and you go to Australia. But most people stay in Dubai. Most people are like, oh, I want to buy a house, I want to buy this. No, this is the detachment. You detach yourself from this. You know you need just bare minimum to survive. I'm not saying you need to be a nihilist or minimalist or nothing like that. You can have a nice house as a Muslim or whatever, but still you shouldn't be attached to that property or to that material reality. You should just view it like, okay, this is like dunya, this is nothing, this is this world. It's not going to be something I take with me. The only thing I'm taking with me is this thing with me and the good deeds that I've done on this planet. Anything else, it's going to be left here. And so Tyler is really like a secret Muslim in a sense where he understands the problems. If he would figure out that there is a creator and there's this another realm, he would definitely 100% become a Muslim, because he could, people who are close to the like figuring out how, like what actually is going on, they oftentimes end up in this space where I was actually when I before I converted to Islam. I love Fight Club, I love all these things, and they end up like choosing like punk or choosing like weird alternative lifestyle because they want to like unplug from society, but they are still part of it. They still want the approval of other people. They still, you know, it's impossible to unplug until you realize you just want to please the creator. That's the only thing that matters. And so at that point you don't really need to, you know, please people or society or anything like that, and you've completely unplugged. You still live in this world, you still enjoy the food and everything. That's permissible in a permissible manner, but you sort of like realize like, okay, I have a couple of more years. I'm 30. I don't know, I may die tomorrow, maybe in 30 years, but still it's gonna be very quick when we all die. So why don't we prepare for it and make the most of our time in this world? So that's my message. And just to prove to you that I wasn't lying, I want to show you something in my room. Behind me, right here, you can see that's the poster of Fight Club. I don't know if you can see that. Fight Club. So I'm really a huge fan. The poster is from San Francisco from like 10 years ago. I don't know why I still keep it, but of course Fight Club is not ideal for Muslims to watch, so be careful. There's a lot of haram, there's a lot of things, but it's still one of the greatest movies that was ever produced. Go check out Islam if you are interested in it. It has a very strong message, a very strong foundation, and hopefully you enjoyed this video.